Everybody's reporting end of September to like mid-October, the chickens stopped laying, and ours stopped laying in September. We hadn't had a single egg all winter. And apparently, everybody who's been feeding their chickens this type of feed has stopped getting eggs altogether.
And since before Halloween, I have not gotten a single egg until about a week ago. And I switched the feed that I was giving. I no longer am feeding chicken feed.
So this purposeful attack of our food supply is really pissing me off. In this video, I want to talk about a hen holocaust on our hands. We have a number of stories. In total, they add up to about 500,000 dead hens burned alive in their prime. That is so many hens. 500,000 hens killed in freak fires at egg farms, if you believe that. I think we have to assume foul play at this point. So this video we started with here is Hillendale Farms in Connecticut, the largest supplier of chicken eggs, caught fire this weekend, leaving an estimated 100,000 hens dead. And this was from about 2 weeks ago. So all the hens just burned alive. So really, really sad and foreboding to see our food supply go up in smoke, in flames. So this fire at this egg farm left an estimated 100,000 hens dead. So we'll look at a number of other big egg fires in a second. But let's look at the price for eggs. Now, I don't really trust this data source. This is the Federal Reserve. But look at this chart. Average price for grade A eggs, cost per dozen, in U.S. city average. Look at what's happening. The egg price is going up with the number of hens that are being burned alive. There's probably a big connection there. Of course, there's also inflation running rampant right now. But it seems like the egg supply is especially being hit. And they're blaming it on freak fires. This really pisses me off. So the last data point here, $4.83. So in 2020, a dozen of eggs was like $1.50. And now it's up to almost $5. This is outrageous. Let's go to the next story. This is a fire in Arizona, back in the spring of 21. Over 165,000 laying hens die in a massive fire. The egg farm was called Hickman's Egg Farm. The city is called Tonopah. So the first story was 100,000. This one's 165,000 dead laying hens. So jumping forward a year, now we're in May of 2022. So this was an egg farm fire in Minnesota, in Wright County. And we don't have a really good estimate of how many chickens died, but it says tens of thousands of chickens, which seems like they're trying to underplay it a little bit. Like, how many tens of thousands? That's a key question. Let's turn now to Florida. This was back at the end of 2020. Dade City Poultry Farm fire likely killed 250,000 chickens. 250,000 chickens. What explains this? Who's responsible? This isn't just a coincidence. And it tracks pretty closely with the rising, skyrocketing price of eggs. And finally, from this week, there was a huge fire at New Zealand's largest egg farm, and it killed between 50,000 and 75,000+ hens. This is absolutely crazy when you see around the world egg farms going up in flames, left and right. This is massive. 100,000 hens burned alive over here, 75,000 burned over here, 100,000 burned alive over there, 250,000 burned alive over there. It is absolutely nauseating. And then this paired with the weaponized food, causing less eggs to be produced, is so sinister. And we need to get to the bottom of this. So I also want to talk about this video and a number of videos like this. People were blaming the feed, the chicken feed, and saying it was causing their chickens to produce a lot fewer eggs, to yield many less eggs. And that is a key possibility. If this is a systemic attack on the chicken egg supply, then maybe they can buy off some farmers to burn their inventory so it doesn't reach the end consumer. Maybe they can arson somebody's farm. But this tactic would make a lot of sense. Poisoning the chicken in such a way that the hen doesn't lay eggs. And we have this video here we'll watch in a second, but I think we've seen numerous reports of people saying that they were having difficulty yielding eggs with a certain feed. And then once they changed the feed, the eggs started coming back. So very, very suspicious. Let's watch.
In nearly 30-something years of raising chickens, I have never gone without eggs, not even just one. And since before Halloween, I have not gotten a single egg until about a week ago. And I switched the feed that I was giving. I no longer am feeding chicken feed. I have switched my girls to goat feed. Steel cut oats, black sunflower seeds, and goat feed. I have to say, there's something to this.
This is a hen holocaust, and people need to get up in arms about this. They're poisoning our air, they're poisoning the water, they're poisoning the livestock, and they're preventing us from having eggs. Here's the next video I want to play. Ellie says, chickens have stopped laying eggs all over the country. This lady free-ranged and her hens started laying again. It's in the feed.
All over the nation, and nobody said anything about it because we all just assumed it was winter. They stopped laying in the winter as much, and come to find out that everybody across the nation stopped getting eggs from their chickens altogether. Nobody got a single egg all winter from there. Everybody's reporting end of September to like mid-October the chickens stopped laying, and ours stopped laying in September. We hadn't had a single egg all winter. Well, we discovered, we have a little escape artist here, Luna, our white leghorn there. She can get out of the coop and just, we can't contain her. Anyway, she started laying again about a month ago. And we discovered that, well, that's weird. She started to lay and nobody's laid in months. Like, we have gone months. Here you go, Margo. We've gone months without any eggs at all. So we started looking into it, and then finally somebody said something in one of the chicken groups, and they were like, hey, has anybody else's chickens not laid a single egg? Because we've had them for 50 years and we've never gone a winter without a single egg. Not one single egg. Well, we started letting our chickens out and to free range. We usually feed them. You can see they're not even touching the feed anymore. Like, this has been here for 3 days. They don't want it. And apparently everybody who's been feeding their chickens this type of feed has stopped getting eggs altogether. So people who aren't able to let their chickens free range or can't run around the yard at all aren't getting any eggs. Kind of convenient when eggs are the price of, I don't even know, gold at this point, I guess. But yeah, so let's check over here and see if we have any today where they've been out. We had to keep them up yesterday. Yeah, look at here. There she is. She was laying. I was calling for one. She didn't come. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 eggs today. 7 eggs. Yes, I know it needs cleaned. 7 eggs. 7 eggs in one day. We haven't had any for months. Months, y'all. Months. Feed. It's the feed. Everybody's saying it. It's the same thing all across the nation. If you ask people, we're finally figuring it out. So maybe we can kick this egg thing.
It's the feed. Look at that. All across the nation, via the feed, causing the chickens to produce fewer eggs. That makes a lot of sense. And then pair that with the 500,000 hens burned alive in a hen holocaust. And what do we have? An attack on the food supply. An attack on self-sufficiency. This is so sinister. And so out in the open and obvious. We need to raise awareness about this, rally the troops. This is unacceptable, and it must be stopped.